this review, we take a look into the Marvel Legends Zabu Wave cable. Been looking forward to this one. I think a lot of people have. This mostly because of the costume design. This suit is more directly linked to Marvel vs. Capcom than it is his appearance in the comics, even though his appearance in the comics came first. But that's what everybody most recognizes it with, and that's kind of what we're gonna call it, because it just brings back those kind of memories. Here he is in that very familiar packaging. Got the window, you can see his accessories, Build-A-Figure piece, 2 hands, his guns, side art, more figures from the Wave, little bio. My box is pretty beat up here along the top. I ordered this from GameStop and they just bent it over and shoved it in a little box. Artwork. And that's him there. We'll get him open and take a look. So here's Cable outside of his packaging, and he looks really awesome. They really nail the look, although it's not 100% perfect. I think it comes across the way that you would want it to. Pretty simple design, just the simple blue suit. Got the yellow, got some red X logos in there. His arm, his head sculpt, pretty cool. Comes with the two trigger finger hands for his blasters, which we've seen before, previous Cable figure. Not bad. And just a quick look at it. The paint looks good. I don't see any real detailed shading in the bodysuit or anything like that. But still, I like it. I don't always need it. I like the way shadows can play off of the sculpts and everything and kind of add the detail. Metallic arm, I like that color. That looks pretty good. Now he has the spark coming from his eye. Kind of wish he came with a head sculpt that didn't have that spark, just to kind of change it up. I do like that. If I was going to get one, I kind of like that. All right. Articulation wise, head looks down pretty far. Head looks up really far. T-pose. Not a bad T-pose. I'm not quite sure why they sculpted it like this with these little bulge. I'm assuming maybe it's supposed to be like his lats continued from the body. Doesn't bother me too much. Maybe the more I look at it, the more it would bother me. Let's see. Ab crunch. Looks pretty far. He has the belt that's molded into the body, which is awesome, and it's separated here so it's not floating. Waist cut. Looks like it turns towards the bottom of the belt, which is awesome. Looks good. Leg comes forward about that far, so about the highest we've seen. Straight back, not so much, just pretty much straight down. Comes out about that far, so also not the widest you've seen, but I mean, I don't know if you really need them to hit Spider-Man poses. It's always good when you can, though. Give you options. And thigh cut. Now these belts are not molded into the legs, which I'm kind of disappointed in. That 97 Cyclops had the legs altered so that way you can get the belts molded into the leg. I don't really care for free floating parts anymore like that, the harness or anything like that. Mostly because they usually drop down unexpected. I mean, even this one just kind of moves around. And I'm starting to not like that at all. The older Cyclops figures and other figures with bands like that, I put a dab of glue to kind of keep it from doing that. And I'd like to just not do that anymore. Double jointed pin in the knees. Cut in that shin. This little calf. hinge and like a pivot in that foot. Really cool. Good looking figure. So overall, pretty nice. Definitely, I'm happy with it. Get these other hands on. So we got a little double barrel action. Silver with a little brownish paint on there. Not terrible. I don't know that I'll ever use that one ever. I like this one. I've always liked this pistol right here. This is probably the one that I would think that they would spam in the Marvel vs. Capcom where he does that little combo. What was it, like 3 shots? 3 shots and a hyper beam. I like it. Looks pretty cool. I wish he would have came with the longer rifle for his hyper beam, but we got options. I'll break those out a little later. For now, grab a couple figures for a quick size comparison. So here's Cable next to 2 different Hercules figures. We have the classic Avengers version here, and then we have the, I guess, a more modern version there. And this Hercules, the classic, and Cable seem to be about the same height, but they both seem to be just a little bit taller than this Hercules here. But I wanted to get them in the comparisons because they do have that similar body shape. Cable and Hercules seem to share the same lower legs. Not all the way, but like the thighs. But one thing that's been going on is Hercules and Cable seem to share the same arm. And people have been doing swaps with the Hercules arm onto the Cable body. There was a couple images of him in this suit where this arm is exposed. It's just that human skin tone underneath, which looks really good also. I think I'm gonna leave mine like this though. Or I may get a second and just do the swap. I don't know. We'll see. Next we have Cable next to another Cable here. It's I believe it's what, Age of Extinction version, which about the same height. Not my favorite looking Cable, but he does have this rifle here that Forge had. And it seems more like one that he would use for his hyper beam. That's one option. And here he is next to a custom Cable that I made, put together. This one uses the X-Force, that body, with Marvel Select Cable parts. and some other parts attached to it, just random things taken from him. But what you can see is this cable has this little pistol, and this one are the same, but different colorway. He also has that little dual blaster in that same gray color, versus the new cable has it in this color. So pretty cool having those two together. And let's see, get a couple other comparisons in here. And here we have Cable next to Dad Cyclops with the Casting Cave head sculpt and the Jada Toys Mega Man. They look really awesome together. You know, Cyclops isn't a very small guy. He is actually a pretty big dude, but Cable is a lot bigger than he is. And I think the height difference in there looks really good together. Mega Man being a lot smaller. That scale difference looks awesome together. It looks really amazing. I love it. So one thing I mentioned was I had an idea for a different hyper beam, and that is using the Marvel Select long rifle, which I think looks pretty cool. However, it's just a little too big. It fits in his hand, and I can kind of get it to get under, but not really. I mean, look at that, that's too big. Can't get that hand across or under. Not that it was meant for it anyways. But I just think that the sculpt of it looks pretty awesome. And that's not gonna work. I think he had it tucked under his arm when he fired it. Pretty okay attempt though. Maybe I can fudge it and some other stuff, but yeah. For now, probably not gonna happen. Now, most other people are using it's like a little rifle that came with this version, the original version. This is me changing him around, but there's a big rifle that came with him, a little thicker on the end, and they used it for his hyper beam look. And that looks pretty cool too. I want to say there's a different figure out there that also had it in a different colorway. So I'll probably end up finding that. It's in one of these bins somewhere. But other than that, I mean, awesome figure. Simple paint, but done really well. Wish those thigh pads were molded in, like the 97 Cyclops. And I mean, it just looks overall good. It nails the look that it's trying to go for. I mean, little things. I believe this is underpants. I don't want to call them underpants. His lower pants, like this part, the crotch part, actually has these mold lines. And in the promo pictures, it's actually meant to be blue here. That runs all the way up the side. They didn't do it. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me that they didn't do it. His boots, I kind of wish the paint had just covered the entire lower leg instead of being separated like that. And I think that's it. Other than that, I mean, I just really like this figure. It does exactly what I want it to do, what I'm gonna need it to do, to look on the shelf the way I need it to. Because that right there looks so awesome. But having him right there makes it look even more amazing. I mean, that's gonna be so cool. You guys know where I'm going with it. That's gonna be it for this review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.